What's up, guys? Every morning when I get up, I have to check my blood sugar. Even though my pump tells me my blood sugar because I have a Dexcom, the constant glucose monitoring, I still have to check and make sure and calibrate it every 8 hours. So a lot of my friends who aren't diabetic ask me, well, if you have an insulin pump, doesn't it just do everything for you? Unfortunately, no. So I still have to check my blood sugar regularly. I still have to, kind of compare what my meter says versus what my pump says. Science is getting close, but we're still not there yet, so we still got to do some extra stuff. So I'm at 141 right now. It's not too bad, especially since I'm going to go to the gym. I usually like it under 120, but instead of risking a low blood sugar, I'm fine with going to the gym around 140. Anything under 160, I'll go to the gym. Anything over 160, I usually give myself a little bit of insulin. I bolus a little bit just to make sure that the spike with the intense exercise doesn't go up too high during my workouts. Recently, I've been having more lows during my workout, which means I'm most likely overcorrecting, especially because I just got my pump a little over a month and a half ago. I'm still getting used to all the features and all that, but I do love it. Having diabetes definitely makes me realize how many people just don't know about diabetes. I tell people I have diabetes and they say, well, you can't eat that. You can't have carbs. You can't do that. What? Yes, I can. Shouldn't you be eating sugar-free foods? No. Actually, as long as I take my insulin, I'm fine. So many people think because you have diabetes, your life is just over. You're so limited and you have to eat salad and ice cubes for the rest of your life. That is not the case at all. You can eat whatever you want as long as you cover yourself with insulin, as long as you're smart. And there's really no limits. There's no restrictions given your diet or anything like that. But if you want to eat something, you can eat something. It's fine. Just be smart. Just got to MAT of South Florida. My buddy PJ is an MAT specialist. I actually met him a year before I graduated doing the muscle activation techniques jumpstart program, which I'm also certified in. I need some therapy work done. I have a lot of tightness, a lot of imbalances going on. I'll post a little more information about muscle activation techniques in the bottom. It's time to work on myself to make sure that I can go as hard as I've been doing in the gym and maintain a good body.
Hold left, resist. Hold right, resist. You feel a difference between those?
Huge. I hate that position. I'm always in this position. I catch myself constantly here.
Oh, yeah.
Always. And I'm watching TV and I'm like, what the fuck? I go here and then my legs go there.
You got a smart subconscious brain is what you got.
Drives me nuts.
Well, it's doing what it's pre-programmed to do.
Yeah.
Just keep you from harm.
Even when I'm driving, like I'm just leaning.
You're not going to be symmetrical.
What?
And that's not to say that's bad.
Yeah.
It's just what you got to do what you are wanting to do, which is compete in a powerlifting. You're not as asymmetrical as you think you are. I mean, I could see this is more girth, but I don't know if that's more girth or it just feels tense to me. Because you can have big muscles, but they don't have to be dense.
Just got done with the MAT session. Found a lot of imbalances on my left side. My core is definitely weak. My erectors and my glutes are really strong from deadlifting. And he said I compensate a lot. So he gave me some homework to do. Hopefully it takes some of the tension off my right side. Having a shorter left arm means it weighs less, which means I compensate a lot more for that on my right side. So I have a little bit bigger of a lower back, a lower erector, and a right lat. So just stuff I have to deal with as an adaptive athlete. And it's going to help me get to my goal of 700-pound deadlift. Probably in like a year from now. Still, I want to get there and stay as healthy as possible. So, investing in my own lifting career. As you'll see from that attempt, the hook slipped, which fucks up my whole setup. I'm supposed to hit 2, something I have to deal with throughout my training, so it's harder for me to do reps than it is to max. Hopefully that doesn't happen at my next meet. That might not look much to you guys. That hurts really fucking bad. So that went up a lot better. I put my hook up higher on my hand. I'm done. Done. Completely forgot I have to squat today. Just speed work, but that's still 50%, which means 250. I don't know if you guys have tried squatting after heavy deadlifting, but it's not fun at all. So throughout my program, you'll see that I squat and deadlift 2 times a week. The main 3 elements of a good program to me are volume, frequency, and intensity. So I see a lot of people training each body part like 1 time a week, and to me that doesn't really make sense. Research doesn't really back that up either. Higher frequency, or more so higher volume, is going to equate to more results over time, strength or size. So if you think about it, why do 10 sets of 10 on one day and be sore for 5 days when you could do 4 sets of 10 3 times that week and end up with 12 sets of 10, which is more than them and less damage. So it's kind of like a sport as well. You know, if you want to get better at playing a sport, you don't play one day, you play frequently. It's also mastering the movement pattern. Now, I've tried multiple training programs and multiple methods of progression or periodization. I was a really big fan of daily undulating periodization, DUP. I'll cover some of the periodization models and program designs in a later video, but that method pretty much including me squatting, benching, and deadlifting 3 times a week. And while it completely supports the theory of higher volume, higher frequency, it was a little too much for me, injury-wise and just fatigue-wise, and I feel like it really decreased my performance or didn't allow me to go to maximum. So for me, I didn't really like it. Switching over to the 10-20 Life program, it's a lot better. So it's less, I guess you could say less frequency, maybe a little less volume, but I'm still squatting and deadlifting 2 a week. One is a power movement, so one is for speed, which really doesn't tax me, and then one is the main lift. So I really like that, reinforcing a good movement pattern, practicing the movement 2 times a week, but getting 1 heavy lift in per week, which is different. I used to train really heavy all the time, and I feel like this has allowed me to progress a little bit more. There's really 2 two groups of thought on this issue, you know, volume, progression, and what sort of concept you're gonna run with. There's the group of people who say, do what works for you, and then there's the other group of people who say, do what works best. You know, these people say, why change something? Don't fix what's not broken. The other people say, why do what works when you can do what works best? I kind of fall in the middle of that because on paper, technically, daily undulating periodization produces more hypertrophy and more strength, but adherence is not factored into that. Injury rate, it might be a quicker result over time, shortly, acutely, but in the long run, I don't feel like someone can maintain that to the high level and continue to progress. Now, I do know people who use DUP and are very successful, but for me personally, it's not something I can maintain, and I feel like it just causes me problems. So I'm somewhere in between. You guys let me know what program you like to train on, what concept you like to follow. There is no perfect plan, and I'm a big believer of changing frequently. So after this meet prep, I'm probably gonna go back to some DUP stuff, but lighter weight. So when I go heavier into meet prep, something like 10-20 Life is perfect for me. It was actually a really good gym session, regardless of the hook slipping and some other mishaps. Time to eat. So this is one of my favorite meals. It's so simple. The spaghetti squash and ground turkey. I put a little sriracha in the ground turkey and this Longhorn Steakhouse seasoning that I get from local store. There's like 7 grams of carbs in the pasta. It tastes pretty much just like pasta and cuts your carbs by like 500%. So if you're looking for a lower carb option or you'd rather get your carbs from something more delicious, personally cookies, especially as a diabetic. Yes, diabetics can have cookies as long as they take insulin and control their blood sugar. Yeah, this is a good alternative. So, and it's really good too, surprisingly good. You can put any sauce on it and make it taste like any pasta dish you want, and it cuts down some of the crap.